Hello, and welcome to all the One Piece fans. Today I'm going to be sharing my reaction highlights of episode 84, 85, and 86. And then after that, you will find my review at the end. So for those of you that don't know how this works is I watch the episodes on Tuesdays and Fridays, and then I take 2 to 3 days to edit the reaction highlights, do my notes, and then I record the review part where I just basically read my notes out loud for those of you that prefer listening instead of reading. And then I edit in the review part, export the video, upload it, and that's why it takes a few days because in between I also do other videos and reactions for Patreon and general life stuff. Tomorrow specifically, well actually in 6 hours, I need to get up and take my dad to the airport, which is a 2-hour drive from here. I am a little tired, so I'm sorry if you pick that up during the review, but you won't notice it during the reaction because I watched that on Tuesday and I wasn't tired while I was watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. I am getting closer to episode 100, and that's just exciting because 100 episodes of an anime. Like, the only other anime that I've watched for so long is Bleach. Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched an anime longer or more further than I've watched. Oh, Fairy Tail. Okay, so Fairy Tail and Bleach, and now One Piece. So yeah, I just think it's exciting. Like 100 episodes is a lot. That's still a couple of weeks away. For now, enjoy today's video and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Backwards? Ah. 10 days. Oof. They'll just sleep it off. Oh, Luffy. Hara? He's gonna eat Chopper. Run! Luffy, no! Down, boy. Down. I thought it was a teddy bear. Oh, what would happen if a human ate a human fruit? Would you become a superhuman? What even is a superhuman? Hito. Oh yes, I forgot that Zoro didn't get off the ship with him, so he doesn't really know like the bear. He doesn't know who Dalton is. He kind of clueless at this point. It's just I don't know, I'm weird. At the end of episode 84, I thought about how challenge and even tragedy is a part of life. And it's literally the challenges we face in life and how we choose to handle them that shape who we are as people. All of our main characters have had to face challenges in their past. But if it wasn't for that, they wouldn't be who they are today or where they are. Sure, these are just fictional characters, but the same can be said for people in the real world. And this is just a cool quote from C.S. Lewis. Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. And this is especially the case in the world of One Piece, but it is very relevant as well in the real world. Every challenge you face today makes you stronger tomorrow. To make amazing dreams come true and to do the impossible, you need to be strong. So the stronger you are, the more you can achieve. Of course, that does not mean challenges are fun. It does not mean unfair things that happen in life are okay. But you are the only one who can determine whether life makes you better or bitter. And then this is another quote from Ralph Maston. If you choose, the challenges can make you stronger. If you choose, the disappointments can make you more determined. It is your choice. It's okay to break down and cry. It's okay to even give up. But giving up does not have to last forever. Once again, it's your choice. Luffy, Nami, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, and Chopper, and many other characters in One Piece show us that if we work hard and believe in ourselves and in our dreams, we can make anything happen. Not because things are easy for us from the beginning. No, the story is that much better when we overcome challenges, no matter how impossible it seems at first. And that's why it can frustrate me so much when people they make excuses for why they haven't achieved things in their lives. Instead of, I'm not saying you can't say, I haven't achieved this because this. Of course you can say that, but usually the people saying that, they're not trying. They're not even, they've given up, and that's where it stopped. You can say, these are the reasons I haven't achieved it yet, but I just get frustrated when people use excuses as a crutch. Obviously, I feel quite strongly about this, and I don't want to delve into it too deeply, because you can offend a lot of people really easily, but all of this I just love this about One Piece, how the challenges that the characters face are immense and unfair, but they keep on keeping on. That is so fucking cliche to say that, but literally, that's what makes the story so great. And that's true in real life too. You can use your experiences and you can use them as crutches and say, well, it's not my fault my life sucks, it's everyone else's fault, it's this fault, it's my heritage, my past, the society I was born into, whatever, the gender I have, my sexuality, whatever, other people. But then I look at these characters and I see what they've done and what they've overcome, and in real life there's people like that as well. I see everything and I'm like, how dare I make an excuse? I'm just gonna, like I said, there are days when you can cry and when you can give up, but then you wipe your tears, you pick yourself up and you keep on going, because life is sometimes unfair. There are challenges. There's always going to be challenges. If you overcome one thing, there's going to be another thing. That doesn't mean you don't that doesn't mean you accept the world's unfairness. You lie down like, oh, a challenge, oh well, it's part of life. No, it just means that you say a challenge, well, I can let this hold me back, I can use this as an excuse, or I can overcome it and then be stronger on the other side, because once I get there, you know, I can use my strength to achieve what I set out to achieve. When we long for life without difficulties, remind us that oaks grow strong in contrary winds and diamonds are made under pressure. Episode 85, Dream of the Outcasts, the quack Dr. Hiluluk. In this episode, Dr. Kureha tells Nami and Sanji about Chopper's past and the one man that he actually opened his heart to, that gave Chopper his name and called him a son, Dr. Hiluluk. While editing, I saw or felt something that was similar, although I'm hesitant to actually mention it at all because it's a really controversial topic, and by that I mean it's likely to give rise to a lot of arguments, but I'm just gonna explain it because it does have to do with One Piece and the specific issue it addresses. The scene where the garrison is chasing Dr. Hiluluk in the beginning, and they say that it was an order from Wapol to chase away all the doctors in the country, made me think of a similar situation in South Africa that seems to be happening right now and that has already happened in Zimbabwe. I know this seems awful to say, but I'm glad that this happened in Zimbabwe before, because we're seeing it happen in South Africa now, and the people who say like you're lying, it's fake news, it's not really happening, I can literally just point to Zimbabwe and say they don't have a currency anymore. Their currency was discontinued because of how badly that country is doing, because it did happen. What is currently happening in South Africa did already happen there. And here's how it relates to One Piece. What I'm referring to is in Zimbabwe, the country's farmers were repeatedly, viciously, cruelly murdered, slaughtered. Many people were killed so that all the other farmers got scared and essentially ran away to other countries like New Zealand and Australia. When I saw Hiluluk getting chased by Wapol's forces, it reminded me of the same thing. It's scary how much the stories in One Piece reflect real life events. I'm sure Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Drum Island are not the only places these kinds of events have taken place. Although what is happening on Drum Island is different compared to what happened in Zimbabwe and what might happen in South Africa, at the end of the day, it's too similar to ignore. Wapol wanted to chase away the doctors and keep the issue 20 to himself so that he has more power. That was his end goal. In Zimbabwe and in South Africa, the people in power want to fuel racism. So the politicians, they're fueling racism, they're fueling discord between races, and in that way, we're always fighting each other, and we don't realize or have time to stand united against their corruption. So they stay in power because we're so busy fighting each other, fighting about land ownership and whose right it is. You bought it, but 200 years ago your family lived there. Like, we're so busy arguing about it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. We don't realize that the best solution is we need to find a way to work together, because like in the same way that a country needs doctors, a country needs farmers. They give us food. Do you understand what I'm saying? So instead of realizing like the best solution is not mine, it's let's work together. But we can't work together because our politicians are making everything about race, and they're making us fight each other, and that's what's happening here too. It's all a power game. It's all to gain more power so that they can't be like kicked out of their seat of power, right? So Wapol can't be he can't be overthrown because he has all the doctors. So people need to beg him for their health, essentially. And now it's the same in South Africa, where it's also this power game, because the politicians stay in power because the majority of people, the masses, don't realize the real problem. They don't realize that where's this whole fucking countries, where's all of our money going, where's all of our taxes going, where's everything, why is things not getting better? They don't realize, like, oh, these bastards aren't doing their job, they're stealing our own money. No, the politicians divert attention. They say, you're doing bad because of that race there, and they took everything from you, and this and that. Even though, like, by now our country could have progressed so much, but now they're pointing fingers, the politicians, and so we're fighting amongst each other instead of realizing you're the problem. And that's how they regain their power. That's how they stay in power. But anyway, I could go into much more detail on the situation, but this is not the time or place to do it. I just wanted to point out the similarity between this specific story in One Piece, which was written by Oda many years ago, and things that happened a couple of years ago in Zimbabwe and are currently happening in the present in South Africa. One Piece truly is amazing to handle such a story in a way that makes it seem like it's just a fun story for kids, but we can learn so much of it as adults, and still in today, like it's still in the present. Like this was written, what, 15 to 20 years ago, and it's still relevant right now, even probably, like, it's so universal. And I'm just amazed that the story can handle it in such a fun way with such fun characters, but really it's profound. You know what I'm trying to say? For anyone who is interested in knowing more about the situation in South Africa, the most accurate and objective video I've seen on the internet on the subject can be found here. So please just, it's on page 33. There's a whole playlist exploring/uncovering this situation on YouTube. It's of course a very complex matter, which is not something I want to get into in a One Piece video. But while editing the similarity between these situations and the games politicians play to gain and remain in power just really jumped out at me, and I wanted to make a note of that. And what I mean with objective is there are many videos on YouTube and on the internet or wherever which argues for both sides. Exactly what I'm trying to say. The politicians are pitting people against each other, and it's no use watching a video from the one side that's hurt and the other side that's hurt. Like they're extremists, and they'll give you a one-sided view of what happened, whereas these videos that I found are very professionally done, and it's from a person that is not South African, so it is, like I said, the most objective that I could find. Anyway, the story of how they met, Chopper and Hiluluk, it's so freaking precious, and it is now my favorite One Piece backstory. And by saying my favorite One Piece backstory, it kind of sucks, because it's like, I don't want to dehumanize the story. Oh, it's my favorite story, like my favorite movie. I don't know. It just feels like it takes away from its meaning when I say, like, oh, now that's my favorite backstory. It's just that it's the one that touched me the most, the one that had the biggest emotional impact on me, the one I think that I will remember 20 years from now, most likely. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I hope that you understand. It used to be Sanji's backstory made the biggest impact on me, but now this, I feel, made an even bigger impact on me. I absolutely love Chopper's voice. Tons of people in the comments have said that the VA also voices Pikachu. So I searched it, and the VA is Ikue Uotani, hometown Tokyo, Japan, hobbies Japanese dancing, jazz, vocal, and modern ballet. The only other character I've heard her voice at this point has been Yokai Kozo from Dororo. I believe this character was an amalgamation of children who once lived in an orphanage in the mountains. The children and the nun who lived there were murdered in a fire as a sacrifice to the demons, so that the demons would help the townspeople. Just an interesting fact about the character that I know or that I've heard her as, but no one else. But she's done a lot of characters. I saw that someone told a commenter not to post facts like this. Like, I think it was because the Pikachu comment, because it might negatively influence my viewing experience. For example, I might only think of Pikachu when I hear Chopper now. Although I really appreciate the thoughts, I just wanted to say that you don't have to worry. I generally look up VAs myself anyway because I love knowing things like this, and it just deepens my appreciation for the character. It's never bothered me. It did once, but that was in another anime, and it's a rare occurrence, like just that once. And then this face, I can only laugh at how evil he looks here, but he's actually such a freaking nice guy. Like, this looks like a really evil villain. Like, if you showed me this, I would have thought this was the story's villain. But that's kind of ironic considering he used to be a villainous character, because he mentioned, you know, he used to be a really bad person and had all these sins. I don't know. And that also reminds me of Dalton, because he also said like something along those lines. Hiluluk, this country is sick. The hearts of the king and the people are ailing. They say there is no cure for a sick country, but they're wrong. And to me, this hits so close to home, and that's why I really love Hiluluk's character. And even, like I say, it hits close to home in light of the things I just told you. This country is sick. South Africa is sick. The hearts of the leaders and the people are ailing. They say there is no cure for a sick country, but God, I hope they are wrong. He told this story, which I believe was later revealed to be about himself. Years ago, in a country far to the west, there lived a great thief. He suffered from a severe heart condition. He sought treatments from all the greatest doctors in the land, but none could cure him. Overcome with rage after realizing he was going to die, the man happened to pass by a certain mountain, and there he saw a scene he had never seen before. The entire mountain was covered in the most beautiful sakura he had ever seen. And then when the man returned to the doctor the next day, he received quite a surprise. He was cured. It was a miracle. He was so moved, it caused a sort of transformation in his body. There's a lot I actually want to say about the specific story and why it means so much to me and why it stands out to me so much, but I'm not going to mention it now. I'm sure I will come across something again in the story in the future where I feel like I can address it, but not now. I just really wanted to highlight the story because it does stand out to me a lot. It does have a deep meaning to me, but I just don't feel like now's the time to delve into why. Hiluluk said his flag is a symbol of conviction that defies the impossible. He said he will fight like a pirate and save the country as a doctor. When Chopper asked him what is a pirate, he replied, "Pirates are great men of the sea. They have a body hard like stone, the eyes of an eagle, and a voice that tears the sky asunder." Then I just said, I really wonder if Hiluluk used to be a pirate. Editing this part of the video is so fucking difficult. It hurts my heart so much. This is the worst part. Seeing sad and heart-wrenching moments like these twice so close after each other. Like, I just watched it on Tuesday and now editing again, and more often than not, the second time hurts even more. I mean, I understand why he did it. Like, why, I understand why Hiluluk like kind of chased him away, Chopper, but it doesn't make it any easier. And then this is a quote that I really love from Hiluluk that I am putting in my notes, my One Piece lists notes. "For me, a hopeless villain on the verge of death, to be reformed to the bottom of my heart and live so long, it means that every person in this world can be saved." And that just is something that I myself need to remember and be reminded of. Hiluluk's Cherry Blossoms and Inherited Will, episode 86. I'm curious to know what mushroom they were referring to if it wasn't the one Chopper found. So the garrison, Dalton was talking to them and Chopper heard they were sent to find some sort of mushroom that might be useful in treating all kinds of illnesses. So they refer to a mushroom like that. So I'm just wondering, like, what mushroom was that then? if it wasn't the Amjad. I'm not sure how Chopper ended up getting across that chasm, I almost said chasm, to get to the mushroom, but before he crossed, it showed that reindeer again that hurt him. So maybe Chopper let that boss reindeer attack him and launched him over the crevasse. The episode never shows how he crossed, but it does show him arrive at Hiluluk's place, battered and bruised with a broken leg. And that broke my heart again. This is a picture of Wapol saying, inform the people that the issue 20, and then he said, inform everyone that the issue 20 is sick. And I was wondering, was it his plan all along to trap Hiluluk by pretending like the issue 20 was sick? He doesn't seem that smart, but why else? I almost said why else. Why else did he lie about that? Why else was it necessary to lie about that? I'm not going to lie, seeing Kureha punch and beat up Chopper is really, while I was editing, I was so fucking angry. I understand what she may have been feeling, like she was angry, she just lost a friend. But for fuck's sakes, it's not Chopper's fault. It's not like Chopper forced the Amjad down Hiluluk's throat or anything. Seriously, Chopper was already so hurt. Hiluluk was 100% aware of what he was doing. Everything was his own decision. Why the fuck are you beating up poor little Chopper while he's already fucking beat up? Like, is that how you started teaching him? Is that how you, like, I don't agree with that. I felt like it was unnecessary, and I'm still mad at her for that. But I understand why she was sad, okay? I don't care though, it's still an awful thing to do because Chopper's leg was fucking broken. And there was just no it wasn't necessary. Maybe people, I know what people are gonna argue, like, oh, but Chopper wouldn't have believed her otherwise. Like, no, you don't, no. Chopper said about the Amjad, it's a panakia, I don't know how to say that, panacea. So everything's okay. What does that mean? I just saw that he also says at the end, I'm going to become a panacea. Panakia. I guess I should just Google it, and then I Googled it, and then I read the definition is a solution or remedy for all difficulties or diseases. This, what Kureha said, you'll never cure anyone with just brute force. This made me think of the beginning of the arc when Vivi told Luffy that not everything can be solved with violence or brute force. The song that plays at the end of the episode during Hiluluk's speech and his death, one of my patrons said was the Ave Maria. This song is part of what makes Hiluluk's death even more moving and emotional, especially if you consider the lyrics. So just pause for a second if you want to read the lyrics. And here's the second part. It's strange that just a couple of weeks ago, I finished reading a manga called Akuma to Love Song. In this manga, the song Ave Maria is referenced a lot. The main heroine is called Kawaii Maria. It's an I don't know how to say her name, but it doesn't have two eyes, so it doesn't mean cute. It's her name, Kawaii Maria, or her surname. It's an absolutely brilliant story, although at first it seems like just your average shoujo, and I'm amazed that this song was referenced again in an anime so soon after I had just finished a manga, and it really, that story moved me a lot, in which the song played such a big role in that manga. It's only the second time in my whole life that I hear about this song, Ave Maria, and now I hear about it twice in the span of a couple of weeks. It plays such an important role in two very different stories. The story of Hiluluk and his death, and in Maria's life. Well, I'm not going to get into the story of Akuma to Love Song. I don't mean to say anything more by telling you this. I just found it kind of like a special or beautiful coincidence, and it gives the song even more meaning to me. Hiluluk's whole speech at the end is giving me goosebumps. It's amazing that I get to share my first reaction to the story and moments like these with so many people, but often it's during my second viewing while editing and making my notes that the meaning really hits me or sinks in. Not that I don't still have questions and things that are unclear, like when Dalton asks, do you think a country is the same? And Hiluluk says, if the will is inherited. I'm not exactly sure what that means yet, but I'm assuming that he means a country can heal if the will is inherited. I'm not exactly sure, but that's my theory, I think. This is also something that I only mentioned, or I only realized while editing. He said at the very end, he said, what a great life he's lived, or something along those lines. But this face, this expression, and made me think of that other episode which was titled The Man Who Smiles at the Execution Platform. Luffy smiled at the execution platform. Gold Roger smiled at the execution platform. Hiluluk smiled at the execution platform. Although it's not an execution platform, but you get symbolically what I mean. Hiluluk's will lives on in Dalton and Chopper. This all happened 6 years ago. I don't know if that's important, but I just wanted to remember. So Chopper should be what? 7 years old? 7, 8, 7? I'm assuming that he will live as long as a human being. So my only unanswered question from these episodes that stood out to me the most, where or who was Hiluluk in his past? Like, he talked about a country west, far away or something. Is he connected to the main story in some other way too, other than being Chopper's dad? And then the only comment from Patreon that I wanted to, I thought this one was funny. Somewhere over the aura commented, "There's no medicine for stupidity." I love that line. And then Blackblade responded with, "I'm sure an Amiyudake could." Yeah, I found that really funny. Okay, so I'm getting super sleepy right now, and I have to get up it's 20 minutes to 1 o'clock. I have to get up at 6. 5 hours. I have to get up in 5 hours. I really love these 3 episodes so much. I loved writing my notes. There's so much more that I wish I had even more time so that I can go even into more depth on these subjects. But, you know, I also do want to post more videos. I've mentioned this on my community tab. I only have that much time each week, and I am saving to move, and that will free up some more time for me. So hopefully in the next couple of months I'll be able to move. I'm aiming for end of this year, early next year, and then I'll have some extra time when I'm living on my own, in my own place, and then I can add an extra 2 episodes, an extra video per week. That would be so great, and hopefully by that time I'll also be able to stream. But my streaming will, if I do One Piece streams to talk about episodes and stuff, it will probably be for patrons only, because I'm too scared to just have public One Piece streams because of trolls. Like, people are just crazy with spoilers, like they do it on purpose. Like, there really are people like that, and I don't want that to happen during a live stream, and it's really difficult to control. Although having a certain amount of mods might help, but yeah, I would prefer to just, you know, the more I can limit spoilers, the better. But yeah, that's just my future plans. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I'm loving every second of it. Loving the story so much. Probably after this episode, these 3 episodes, I would, I didn't plan on saying anything about this. I just realized after these 3 episodes, the themes that it touches on, I feel like I can definitely move, I feel like I should move One Piece up on my favorites list. Right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna move it over to the 7th place. And it's funny that I'm doing it now, because just today I read a comment from someone on a One Piece video where they were like, they seemed like irritated because why is Bleach above One Piece if One Piece has a better score? You should move it up. Why don't you move it up? Like, it felt so like, and then Lord Rimuru, who's one of my mods for One Piece videos in the comment section and everything, replied and said, like, she's watched more of Bleach. Like, I have a Bleach poster. Like, I have a history with Bleach. I started watching One Piece this year. Just because I score it higher and I think it's a better anime objectively, for many reasons, doesn't mean I necessarily will like it more than something like Bleach, which I've built a history with and have a history with. It doesn't necessarily mean that just because something is rated higher, it will... You know what I'm trying to say? A favorites list is something completely different. Like, something can be bad in terms of, I don't know, the animation could be bad, but maybe the story means a lot to me, and then it'll be like, for example, Dororo is second on my favorites list, but objectively I can name many anime that I think people would enjoy more, and you know what I'm trying to say? So it's just ironic, and I almost don't want to move One Piece up now over Bleach because of that guy that said that and the way he said it. But in truth, after these 3 episodes, I feel like the story has impacted me in a way that I can definitely put it higher on my favorites list. But for future reference, please, people, don't comment like stuff like that I commented. Don't tell me where something should be on my favorites list, because more often than not that makes me feel negatively towards whatever you're trying to get higher on my list, or you're not doing what you think you're doing. Like, you're doing the opposite, having the opposite effect. But luckily, with regards to One Piece, my interactions with the fandom and my experience of One Piece fans have been overwhelmingly positive. So that's why a comment or two like that every now and again is not going to influence me that much, have a negative influence on me. The story, the greatness of the story and the amount of good fans out there are so much stronger than those kinds of voices. And then there's also this other person, but let's not give them attention. Just to everyone else that comments your honest thoughts, and that the way that you comment is constructive and interested in the story and in my thoughts and enjoying my reactions. Thank you so much for being here and for joining me on this journey. It's gonna be a long one, but I'm ready for each second. Okay, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.